Here is a question that sounds simple until you actually try to answer it. Who are you? Not your name, not your job, not your nationality, your religion, your relationship status, your diagnosis, your reputation, your Instagram bio. Strip all of that away. What is actually left? Around 1200 years ago, an Indian philosopher named Adi Shankar developed a practice for doing exactly this. He called it Neti Neti, Sanskrit for not this, not this. Strip away the job, not this. The nationality, not this. The beliefs, the roles, the story you have been telling about yourself since you were old enough to have one. Not this, not this. Keep going until you arrive at whatever cannot be stripped away. And for Adi Shankar, something was left, a pure, unchanging awareness. Present before the first label was attached, and still there after the last one falls away. The real self, underneath everything, always there, just obscured. Modern neuroscience, interestingly, is asking the same question, and landing somewhere that would have surprised everyone, including the philosophers. Fong, you have a philosopher of your own who respectfully disagrees with mine. Tell me.
Murugan, I appreciate the introduction. Because yes, while Adi Shankar was asking Neti Neti in India, a Chinese philosopher named Zhuangzi was asking almost exactly the same question. Over 1,000 years earlier, on the opposite end of Asia, with no knowledge of each other whatsoever. Same instinct. Strip the labels. Empty the container of the self. His most famous thought experiment, the butterfly dream. He wakes from dreaming he was a butterfly and genuinely cannot decide. Am I a man who dreamed I was a butterfly? Or a butterfly now dreaming I am a man? Which identity is real? But here is where Zhuangzi and Adi Shankar part ways. Adi Shankar says, strip everything away and you find something permanent underneath, a pure awareness, the real self, always there, waiting to be recognized. Zhuangzi says, strip everything away and what you find is freedom, not a fixed thing underneath, the absence of a fixed thing. The consummate person, he wrote, has no fixed identity. That is not the problem to be solved. That is the answer. For Zhuangzi, clinging to even the idea of a permanent true self is just another label, a subtler one, but still a cage. So, Murugan, the neuroscience. Let's expand on that. What does the brain actually say about all of this?
I see what Zhuangzi is doing, and I will be honest, I find it slightly unsettling, because Adi Shankar's answer is more comforting. There is something real underneath. You are not nothing. You are the awareness itself, permanent, unshakable, yours. But here is what I will concede, and this matters. Both traditions agree on the practice, and the practice is where the real value lives. Research on what psychologists call psychological flexibility, the ability to hold your identities lightly rather than being completely fused with them, consistently shows it as one of the strongest predictors of resilience and well-being across cultures. It does not matter whether you call what is left underneath a pure self or simply open space. The act of not clinging, that is where the relief comes from. Now, the neuroscience. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio found that what we experience as a unified, continuous self is not a fixed structure in the brain at all. It is a process, generated moment to moment, from memory, sensation, and narrative. Which means, as Adi Shankar suggested, what we usually identify as the self is not the deepest thing. It is a construction, a story the brain tells about itself. And here is the subtle difference. Zhuangzi says that story has no author underneath it. Adi Shankar says there is an author, pure witnessing awareness, and the story has simply been mistaken for the storyteller. That distinction is 1,200 years old. Neuroscience has not yet settled it.
Right. And here is what both of them are actually giving you. Not just a philosophy, a practice. one question. The next time something destabilizes you, a criticism, a failure, a loss, a role that disappears overnight, ask, which part of me is threatened? Is it the role, the label, the story I have been telling about myself? And then, is that what I am? Or is that something I have? The distinction sounds subtle. The difference it makes is not. And there is a second thing. Once a day, just notice which label you are most fused with right now, the role you are most afraid to lose. You do not have to do anything with it, just notice. That awareness alone begins to loosen the grip. Research on ego dissolution consistently finds that people describe loosening the constructed self not as frightening, but as relieving, as though something heavy was briefly set down. Zhuangzi says what remains when you set it down is freedom. Shankara says what remains is something real, the pure witnessing awareness that was always already there, before the first label and after the last. And I think, if I'm honest, freedom and reality are not opposites. They may be the same thing, seen from different sides of the same door. Not this, not this. And in that space, something better.
If this made you sit with that question, even for 30 seconds, that is the practice. Share this with someone who is rebuilding their identity after something fell away. You never know whose Tuesday it might quietly change.
Subscribe. Every week, 2 voices, 1 conversation, something worth your 5 minutes.
And Fong, permanent true self or open freedom? Final answer.
Ask me again in 10 years. Zhuangzi would say that is the right answer.
Shankara would disagree, but warmly.
Wisdom, reflection, connection.